Let me start off by asking you this one question. Have you ever felt guilty for wanting more? Not because you don't love your family, not because you're unhappy, simply because there's this longing inside of you that you just can't quite explain. I know that feeling. I've been there. I absolutely love being a stay at home mom. I love raising my kids. That is my greatest achievement. I love creating a safe and sacred place for my husband to come home to. And I love being home. There was something I never spoke about, the longing for more. I wanted more money, more vacations, more luxury, more purpose. But there came a lot of guilt with all of that. I remember feeling like an ungrateful little brat because I have a husband that works hard for us. God has blessed me with a good man that is selfless and loves me. But knowing that didn't make the longing any less. I remember asking God many times, is this it? Am I just going to be a mom and a wife? Is there nothing more for me? Over the years, I accepted I was just an ordinary stay at home mom and a wife, but I was never satisfied. I never had the peace, and that longing was still there. In my own strength, I pursued a few things to create a sense of what I thought would bring me purpose. Instead, it left me unfulfilled and with more guilt. I thought that longing inside of me meant I need to contribute differently to my household. I need to bring in monetary value. It was my idea of purpose, value, being enough as a mom, as a wife, and a woman. Now, the turning point was when God showed me that the longing wasn't simply about wanting more money. It wasn't about escaping motherhood. It wasn't about becoming someone else. It was about discovering the purpose He has placed inside of me. One of the biggest things God showed me was purpose doesn't compete with motherhood and being a wife. In fact, He showed me the woman in Proverbs 31. She wasn't choosing between family and meaningful work. She was faithfully stewarding both. Now, I must confess here, I was intimidated by this Proverbs 31 woman. I mean, growing up in church over the years, Women's Day, Mother's Day, Ladies' Conference, even the pastor's wife's birthday, the speaker always used to quote characteristics of the woman in Proverbs 31. And I always thought, wow, this Proverbs 31 woman is well put together. She got her ducks in a row. I mean, they call her a virtuous woman. She is far more valuable than rubies. And here I am, just an ordinary stay-at-home mommy and a wife. This woman is perfect. But you know what? God showed me she wasn't perfect. She was just willing. Now, this week I was reading Amos 9, and one little phrase stood out to me. They will plant vineyards. It reminded me that God often calls us to plant way before we ever see a harvest. So stay at home, mommy. Maybe that longing today isn't about the harvest. Maybe it's God inviting you to plant. I'm not here to tell you what God is calling you to. That is something you and Him can discover together. And oh, what a beautiful journey it will be. But I want to encourage you not to ignore the longing. Bring it to Him. Ask Him what He is growing in your heart. Ask Him what is He inviting you to faithfully steward. And then take one willing step. If today's conversation encouraged you and stirred something up inside of you, I'd love for you to subscribe. Every week we will meet right here. We'll encourage one another, we will pour out our hearts, and we will continue to take one willing step at a time. Because here, we don't have to be perfect. We just have to be willing.